Education is proposed conducting Class 10 board exams twice a year starting from 2026-2027. Unveiled today, the draft policy aims to ease student stress, offering two chances to excel with the best score counted. Aligned with the national education policy, the shift promises flexibility, but it has sparked debate over cost, logistics, potentially even more stress for students, or is that not the case? Joining us now, Vrinda Swaroop, former Secretary, Department of School Education in India. We're also joined by Dr. Vijay Datta of Modern School. Will be joined very soon by him. Praneet Pungali, Trustee of the Sanskriti Group of Schools. Dr. Sumit Grover is a psychologist, deals with children and adolescents. Diya Sharma and Soham Srivastava are Class 10 students, my favorite guests on this program. So rather than start with all the old people, let me come to you first, Diya, and ask you, if you were given the option of taking a second board exam in Class 10, right, would you be happy about it or would you not be happy about it?
Honestly, I feel that this is a very welcome move from the government, since it really takes care of the what-if scenario to a huge extent. With the current boards format, I have a million things to worry about. What if I fall ill? What if I don't reach the exam center on time? Or what if mere exam pressure gets to my head and I am not able to give my best performance in the one examination that is high pressure and where all is at stake? However, with this scheme, I have this huge relief of knowing that even if I'm not able to give the best performance due to XYZ reason in the first examination, I will always have the second attempt, and not all is at stake in that one examination.
Okay.
However, as a student, I feel that we do need more clarity from the government side. For example, what if I want to be selective of the subjects that I want to attempt in the second board examination? Do I get that choice to attempt only those subjects that I want to improve my grades on? Or do I have to give all of those board examinations once more to get an overall satisfactory score?
Soham, what do you feel about this?
I personally feel it's a welcome change for all students. For example, if I'm not able to perform well in the initial examination, I'm able to improve my scores and rectify my mistakes in the second examination. It certainly reduces the stress and anxiety which we associate with a single overwhelming examination. It also distributes the workload over time.
Well, if we have kids as bright as that, I don't think they need two exams. But be that as it may, Praneet Mungali, let me come to you. There is that concern that the doubling of the number of board exams could heighten anxiety and pressure because students, one way or the other, end up facing two high-pressure situations. So does this actually potentially increase the stress for students as well?
I think because there's the element of choice and there's a clarification into the best of two attempts. Anytime there's greater choice, that will lead to lesser stress. And
if you're someone who procrastinates a lot, no matter how hard you try, but you cannot get things done, then listen to me for the next 1 minute. I'm going to share with you the 3 most important things about procrastination that nobody else will tell you. Procrastination is not your fault. You heard it right.
It's also important that the kind of culture which is built up around this is supportive, where students, parents, as well as the counselors use this as an opportunity to depressurize and counsel the students that you don't necessarily need to go all out for 2 examinations. If you feel confident enough in one, you can focus on other things. But overall, greater choice and greater flexibility, as the young students have mentioned, is likely to lead to overall less stress.
All right, Dr. Sumit Grover, let me come to you next. There is also the concern of curriculum overload. With 2 exams, there's a risk that the syllabus might either be split unevenly or require faster coverage, which leaves students with less time to grasp concepts. So again, is this something that might work for students or stress them out more?
This is something like a hate and a miss thing, which the way I am perceiving. I think my major concerns out here is that maybe if we can support the students with some like kind of a mock exams or a trial basis, or maybe do some research and have some statistical analysis of what do people want and what do students want. I think including the students in this project is very important. Like anything which we have new, what is anxiety? Anxiety is fear of worst happening. Anxiety is because of newness. So what I would like to suggest, being a psychologist, that before we implement this program or this project, it's very essential to have each and every school academic counselor to well acquaint them with the policies, to well acquaint them how it's going to work, how it's going to be implemented step by step. That can help. But on the other hand, if we look at it, what she mentioned, I really liked that we make mistakes and then we learn from our mistakes, and then we are getting a second chance to put our learning from mistakes, which is of course not going to lead to anxiety, but more of confidence to do better. So it's both ways. I think we need to have a balance of increasing the confidence of students through this plan, and also to cope with their anxiety and the fear of newness. That's what I think is going to be. And as far as the curriculum is concerned, it depends upon the policy that how you are going to divide the syllabus, or are you going to take the complete syllabus, and how we're going to work over it. Once again, I think students' perspective should be taken. They should be included in this project. Sure. That can help it better. That can help really better.
Let me just go across to Vrinda Sarup, former Secretary, Department of School Education. Ma'am, I think the real question is this going to be extended to class 12? Because class 10 is all very well, but the biggest exam is obviously class 12. It directly impacts the lives of students, their futures. So do you believe that this is a precursor to that taking place? Ms. Sarup, can you hear me? Sorry, we've lost a line. Let me put that across to Praneeth Mungali. Do you think that this is a first step towards this being introduced in class 12?
Well, I very much hope so, Vishnu, because if you see the draft policy of the CBSE, they have quoted paragraph 4.37 and 4.38 of the NEP, where the attempt is to clamp down on the coaching culture as well as alleviate mental stress. And as you pointed out, most of the stress for board examinations is coming with class 12 board examinations. So if the attempt really is to reduce the stress of students, then not only, I don't necessarily think taking 2 board examinations in class 12 will be as important a factor as is looking at what can be done to reduce stress. For example, the fact that the JEE examinations take place before the board examinations is a reason for a lot of stress for the students. And the coaching culture, which is, the high stakes pressure culture, which the NEP is trying to clamp down on. I'm not sure that only taking 2 board examinations in class 12 will alleviate that. It'll have to be more of a multi-pronged approach. But eventually, anything to reduce the stress of the class 12 examinations will be welcome. And if this is a precursor to that, which one very much hopes that it is, then it is a welcome step in the right direction. But a lot of work will have to be done additionally, but one has got to start from somewhere. So to that extent, this is a move which is welcome and appreciated.
All right, let me try and go back to Vrinda Sarup. Ma'am, can you hear me now?
Yeah, thank you.
So my next question to you is, one of the concerns is over fairness in evaluation if there are 2 exams. And this has to do with, if the exams differ in difficulty or format, then it would create inconsistency in the process. Is this something that we need to be a bit concerned about if we are to have 2 exams?
I don't think one needs to be concerned about that aspect, because it's a fairly standardized process on how they tackle the syllabus, the nature of questions, and the difficulty levels, as it were. So this is something new which is being done. It is done in many exams across the country and internationally, where you have different sets of question papers, you have different sets of exams, but there is a fairly technical and scientific process of measuring the difficulty levels. So 2 exams should not worry me or any students about the standards and the efficacy of the evaluation.
And I guess the benefit of this is that a student opting for the second set of exams, she or he doesn't need to take all of the exams. You essentially pick and choose the exams that you want, right? So you aren't preparing for an entire set of exams. It just gives you an opportunity of doing better. And if you don't do better, you can still walk away with the better of the 2 grades. Is that right?
Quite right. That's it.
So that actually brings me to my larger question, ma'am, and go ahead and answer that, but also add an answer to this. Do you believe this needs to be extended to class 12? It's already well now in class 10, and I think it's a great step, but what about class 12?
42 lakhs per annum.
Wow, 42 lakhs, that's your salary?
Yes.
And what do you do?
I think it's better to start as they are with class 10 and let it stabilize a little, because many of the apprehensions that you have raised and the other speakers have mentioned occasionally, it's better to let a system start, stabilize, and 10th is a much better prospect than taking it immediately to a school leaving level. And I think in terms of the student confidence, it will do a lot. And they will understand all these processes of how many exams how many subjects to tackle in the first round, how to do the second round, be it some select subjects. They come away from the exams feeling they've done badly in some, and then they may want to apply for the second round. Some places they may be surprised that they've done well. Then you find the result is not so good. So these are chances which they will learn to take with maturity, and it's better to start at class 10, let it stabilize, and then definitely shift it to class 12 once there's a degree of student confidence, a degree of school confidence, parental confidence that
for a retest really must exist. Thank you all very much for being with us.